I was in 5th grade when I met Robert. He was friends with my best friend, Scott. We were in Mrs. Bradovich's class. On the first day of school, she said, "You better not call me Miss Bradovich." And we knew we were in the cool class. All my friends were in that class. I thought you were raising your hand. Anyway, Scott was in that class, and my family always called Scott the user because if someone had a new Nintendo, Scott would be his friend. If someone was going to Mammoth next week, Scott would be his friend about a month before that week. And if someone had a jacuzzi, we'd all be in it. So anyway, Scott became friends with Robert, and I became friends with Robert. Robert had like fluffy, fucked up hair. He was going to puberty earlier than us, and he was a little overweight, and he had a big baggy shirt always, and he had like shitty baggy pants, and kind of stains behind the knees, and had the shoes, and big white tennis shoes, and it was like 92 or something. That was not cool at all. Anyway, so Robert became my friend. And Robert was a good friend. Robert was always it. Whenever we played tag, Robert was always it. Robert could never get us. So that means Robert also always fell on his knees. Robert always fell off my wrought iron fence. Robert always fell out of the tree. One time I went into my back bathroom and I remember getting Bactine up and just being like, "Robert, get it together." And I'd spray Bactine on his knee and it'd be all bloody and he'd be crying. Anyways, so I'll try to make make this short. So we're in 5th grade and it's Valentine's Day. That was like a week ago, 22 years ago. And so it's Valentine's Day and we're cutting out hearts for our box that people are going to put Valentine's in, and the teacher leaves, and it's one of those beautiful gray days where you play like Heads Up, 7 Up and all that, and everyone's stoked and happy, and we're cutting and we're cutting and we're cutting, and then suddenly I just hear, and I look over and I don't see anything except Robert sitting in the teacher's pedestal, and the teacher left. And then I hear it again, and I hear it again, and I look over and people are throwing scissors at Robert. And by the time I realize what's going on, everyone's throwing scissors at him. And he's just sitting there, and his cheeks are red, and he's just welding up with tears, and I can't remember if I threw the scissors or not. Except I know the teacher came in, and she almost yelled, but she actually couldn't come up with anything to say, and then it went silent. And all I can remember is how close my eyes were to the desk. Then it was recess, and I was the last one out the door, but I was never usually that last one out the door. I was like student body president of my elementary school. I was like always first, but that day I was last. And the teacher stopped and said, "Kevin, what happened?" And I said, "Everything I just told you guys." And then she stopped. She's like, "You could have made this different. You have that power." Anyways, I don't know what happened to Robert. I didn't see him that much longer after that. I went into middle school. I had my own problems. I remember 7th grade, though, studying Confucius. Anyways, Robert came into class in the middle of the year. He sits down, he doesn't even say anything to me. He's like a foot taller, wearing all black. He's like another 100 pounds heavier. And a week later, he lifts up his shirt, he has "hate me" razor bladed into his arm, and it's like bleeding over with scabs. Anyways, a couple weeks after that, the teacher asks him something, she tries to provoke him. And he gets up out of the blue, hasn't said anything in 3 weeks. He grabs her by the throat, and he goes, "I'm gonna kill you, fucking bitch." She grabs the phone by his neck, his hands on her neck. Security guard comes and Robert's gone. I don't see Robert again, except once. It's my senior year of high school, and actually the same friends with 5th grade were the same friends I was with that day for some reason. We all went surfing. And we go to Wiener Schnitzel, and Robert's there working the cash register. And suddenly, I have nothing to say. It's just, I'm thinking, this is Robert. Does he even recognize me? We have a cordial conversation. Me and my friends sit down with their hot dogs. We're like, "That's Robert Wilbanks." Anyways, I never saw Robert again, but I went to that Wiener Schnitzel every day for a couple years. I don't know what I thought I was going to do. I just thought something. And I wonder how Robert thinks